Well, here we are. Here we are back for another episode of Comics Are Dope, the podcast. It's a very special one. If you're new here, by the way, my name is BJ Kicks, host of Comics Are Dope on YouTube, and I am here with a very special guest, a returning guest, the most famous person I know. Give it up for the one and only Mr. Danny J. Quick.
Bro, you were literally just talking about emailing Scott Snyder, and we both have a cousin named Stephanie Williams, who's way more famous than me.
Listen, you got double the TikTok following of either of them, so
that's not. We both know the internet is not real.
Listen,
we'll see when Heroes Con comes around.
Oh, we'll see
what the lines look like. Yeah,
you might be right. But how are you doing, sir?
No, man, I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you having me on again. Welcome back from your social hiatus, your social media hiatus. We're glad to have you back. I'm loving the new content. So, man, I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here. And yes, my break from social media was lovely. I missed out on so much drama. I was so glad to not have to put my face next to no drama. Speaking of drama, I have to apologize to the audience here right now because I've had this man on this show. This got to be your fifth time between Aceblade, Kickstarters, Lumberjacks, Harlem, Bequest. It's probably more than five, right? And it has just occurred to me that I have just been offering open space for advertising to a grifter, and I can't defend it.
They're gonna get you.
They're gonna get me because why have you been scamming people this whole time?
Well, the only way to get ahead in America these days is to be a master scammer. So, but no, man, I did have a situation a while ago. My man Demario Hill, he was upset because he had not gotten his Kickstarter books for Aceblade number 9, and I was already selling some on TikTok, on a TikTok shop. Now, I thought I was being a good business person because, as we know, the algorithms over on TikTok are very suppressive when it comes to talking about going outside of their platform. So the people that I was telling about the Kickstarter on TikTok, they never saw those videos. They never knew that they could get Aceblade number 9. So I was like, now that the book is out and I'm actually sending books to people, I was actually sending the books out. I was like, I'm going to make some available on TikTok too, since I got, enough copies. But it took me more than a few weeks to get those books out to everybody. And while I was sending them out to both Kickstarter and TikTok folks, Demario's like, hey, bro, I don't got my books. I don't got my books. Don't be selling books when I don't got mine. And, he had a valid point. So shout out to the bro Demario. We have since come to an agreement. We go back and forth. He's a passionate supporter of indie comics, especially Black indie comics. And, I sent him a refund for his pledge, but I also sent him his books out. He did the Blurred Without Fear bundle with Ernie's cover. I made sure he got that, but he was the very last one on Kickstarter to get his stuff. So I will say that he was. I sent him his stuff last on the list. So, but yeah, I think we're cool now. He said that he's enjoying the comics. So,
listen, man, I'm glad y'all were able to piece it up. I did see his testimonial on Facebook. Just calling you a stand-up guy, which I know you to be. So I'm glad your reputation has been spared for now.
For now. Yeah, I can't be. I can't let people catch on to my grifting ways because once they know that you a grifter, you can't grift no more. So I gotta preserve that for the next one.
It feels like once people know you're a grifter, then they just willingly accept the grift.
That. Yes, that's a thing too. That is a perspective that I've also seen out here. But to each his own. I personally want to make sure that everybody gets what they paid for and more. I've always been of the mindset that if people enjoy the content, if you treat people right, then they'll come back for the next one. And that's what, that's how I want to operate. So, yeah.
I agree. I think that's the best way for anyone to operate. Speaking of operations, right? We're gonna go behind the curtain a little bit. There's only so many ways I can ask you how to run a Kickstarter campaign, right? But
Mm,
it seems like new things come up each time we speak. And I'm curious about the logistics because I mean,
mhm.
I know that a lot of the time, most of the time, when you start a Kickstarter project, you've already put some money behind the book editorially. Stuff is already in the works. Often, the book is finished and it's just waiting to go to the printer. Um, but I've got a rule for myself, right? Where if I don't have, like, if you've got a Kickstarter and I backed it, but I don't have my rewards, I'm not backing anything else from you until
Mhm,
I get my rewards from the previous project.
mhm,
And it's only been a couple of times where I feel like I've missed out on something cool because of that. Um,
mhm.
but that's just me because it's like, all right, unless I know you, like I back like 5 of your campaigns at this point. So like I know the books will get there eventually. If I got to show up to your doorstep, because I also know where your doorstep is, so it works out, you know.
Yep.
But for most people on the internet, it's like we don't have that luxury. Like all I know is you told me this book was coming at one point, and here we are months later. What are some of the things that could result in books coming out late to people?
There's a lot of things. So for me personally, I think I've experienced some of everything, man. It's been early when we were doing Kickstarters, we were doing them before we had any art. We were literally kickstarting so that we could pay the artists to make the books. Early around with Aceblade 1 through 4, I'll say that's how we were running our Kickstarters. And that's why, there was such a long period of time in between the Kickstarters and between the books coming out because I pay the artists. I get a couple of promo images, maybe have some covers. Everything is written, everything is ready, but there's no art. And we do the Kickstarter, we pay the artists, then we have to wait until the art is done, wait until the colors are done, wait until the lettering is done, all this stuff, then print and all that stuff. And every one of those steps can have delays. Every part of that process can have delays. We recently saw prices go up because of the tariffs and stuff like that. And literally the one of the reasons I decided to push the omnibus back was because the shipping prices from overseas are ridiculous right now. So I was like, in order for me to do this omnibus the way that I want to do it, I'm going to have to raise $20,000, and I'm
Sheesh.
not quite ready to. I'm not quite ready to do that right now. I don't think so. There's every part of the process can have delays, whether it's an artist getting sick, like it was with Ace Blade number 9. Having to find new somebody to fill in and do inks or colors, or having to find a new colorist. Um, Me myself, I do the lettering, I do the uh design layout, I do the production design, and I handle most of the logistics. So I can be a part of why the thing is delayed. So but now, with this 10th book and going forward, I decided I'm not doing any more Kickstarters. I'm not doing any more pre-orders until the stuff is completely done, which is another reason why we decided to push back the omnibus and just do this Kickstarter for Ace Blade 1 through 10.
Word, word. I can't lie. I was hype on the omnibus, but I mean, you knew that. Um,
I I was too, which is why I was rushing it. But Morgan Iverson and Wally and Roe, they're gonna tell me, bro, you don't have to. There's nobody forcing you to do this right now. We should. They've been telling me for years, if you're gonna put out something, make sure it's your best work. And but my impulsiveness and my creativity, the type of creator that I am, I want to make sure that I at least get something done. I know I've gone um, through a lot of ideas that just didn't get done because I waited so long, you
mhm.
know. And I like to, if I have an idea and I want to make something, I want to make it now. And sometimes that's just not. I don't think that's the right thing for me to do anymore. I think
Yeah,
I need to put my best foot forward every time, especially starting with this 10th issue because it's a milestone for me.
Facts. I don't know if y'all know this about Danny, but Danny will do this thing where he has an idea, and so then he'll get on social media and be like, "Hey, y'all, like, if I was to do this, what would y'all think? Like, should I do this or should I do it this way?" And then like somebody will comment and be like, "Yeah, go option A," and he's like, "Oh, I did option B like before I posted this. I just wanted to see what y'all would say, hypothetically." Like, what is that, sir?
Well, I don't want nobody infringing on my creative rights. I want to make people feel it. That's part of the grift, man. It's part of the grift. You make them feel like they're involved, but you already made the decision. No, I'm just playing. It's and most of the time, like with this most recent one, I think it was Ben Weiland, one of our Kickstarter supporters. He was like, "Man, you should do an absolute Aceblade variant for the 10th issue," and I was like, "That's an amazing idea. I like that." Now I posted it thinking, I know people do homage covers, but I know people have probably absolute Batman homaged out the world right now. Invincible and Absolute Batman got to have the most homages in 2026 already. So I was like, I want to do it, but what would people think? You know what I'm saying? Is it overdone at this point? But then in the comments, the same dude, Ben Weiland, he was like, what you should do is have it be lumberjacks in the Aceblade costume, as the absolute Aceblade. And I was like, that right there is a fantastic idea. And I know the perfect artist to do it. And I know that they're available right now. So from the time I posted it to the time that he gave me that idea, it was like, oh, it's done. I'm about to put it in motion. Word. And that's just how it went.
Who's doing this cover?
It'll be Guida. It'll be Giacomo Guida, nice. who did the art for Lumberjacks 1 through 4, and a bunch of other comics. Man, he'll be doing the art for it. He's very familiar with Lumberjacks because, of course, he did the first 4 issues, and he's done a lot for Aceblade. He was supposed to be the artist for Aceblade from Aceblade 5 forward, but I think I've told this story to you before. Morgan came in and stole him. Morgan came in and stole my artist, and that's how he got on Lumberjacks. And I was like, Guida's working for you. I'm going to find somebody else. And, 3 artists later, I finally found someone else.
So that's crazy. But since we're here, let's talk a little bit about Aceblade issue 10. Obviously, it's a big milestone, right? I think I came around for issue 4. It was issue 4 with the graphic novel is when we got hooked up.
So long ago.
That is crazy, bro. Like, first of all, I saw a picture. That picture when we came to your shop, me and the girls, and first of all, one of my kids was in a stroller, and now I have a different kid in a stroller. Like,
now you got a whole different kid in a stroller,
bro. Insane. I don't be thinking about how long we've been doing this stuff, but it just goes to show, like, friendship is forever. But anyway, with Aceblade issue 10, obviously it's a big milestone, but what's the story for this one?
So, I try to give people with this issue, like, I don't, you know me, I don't care about spoilers at this point. So the story is a fake Aceblade has appeared at Terrell Durham's gym. Wanting
is his name Kevin Fredericks?
No, it's not. I did think about you be in my brain because I did think about having him unmask and look like Kev on stage, but we decided not to do that. But a fake Aceblade has shown up to Terrell Durham's gym to capture the escaped villain, the escaped girl from issue 9, which is Stephanie Santos, who was Terrell's student. But of course, we know that Terrell Durham is the real Aceblade. So how can he protect his student and his secret identity when the press and the police are on their way? So that's the story for Aceblade number 10.
That's dope. I like a good, like, mistaken identity type deal, right? And now, how are we gonna avoid, like, the cliche at the end where it's like, no, I'm the real Aceblade. Shoot him, don't shoot me. Like, because it's got to happen.
I'll say that you know me, I love to use comic book tropes in my stories. I think it's one of those things that makes Ace Blade feel familiar to people, but we always put a little twist on it. So this is a trope that they did all through the '90s and early 2000s. But today with social media and with AI and with um, this being in Vegas City, where there's a lot of performers and
Mm,
people who can be hired to do things, there's a lot of different ways that we can get out of this situation, and I hope that it lands for people, because it's all about the same theme of, you know, Ace Blade versus the entire society and why he is the catalyst for change.
yeah, I think my favorite usage of that trope is Darkwing Duck and Negaduck.
Nigga Duck, yeah.
Like they did a reboot, a DuckTales reboot, and one of the episodes was like kind of the soft launch for a Darkwing reboot that apparently is still in development, or allegedly is still in development.
Mm,
And the story basically was that, how did it go? There was this Darkwing Duck super fan that wanted to meet the actor that played Darkwing. Like in this universe, Darkwing is a TV show or a movie or
mm,
whatever. And so Drake Mallard is actually like a movie star or what have you. I can't remember what, like they switched up the names, but basically our Darkwing is a figment of the imagination. But
okay.
the fan kind of ends up becoming Darkwing, and the
Mm,
actual Darkwing ends up becoming Negaduck because of his ego.
oh,
And I was like, that's dope. When is this series coming out? And that was 2017, and here we are.
man, they always promise us cool stuff and then we don't get it. Like, I'm mad at whoever. I'm mad right now at whoever leaked the Avatar movie. Like, I don't know why they did that to us.
Word.
But now, you know, we might not get that in theaters. So
But I mean, you got the leak though, so you can see the movie.
no, I don't know if I told you this, but I got scared by the FBI one time, because I was a heavy torrenter. I was
Uh,
on them torrents heavy, bro, back in the day.
uh,
And I got a phone call and it seemed very legit. And they were like, "Hey, bro, we know what you're doing. Stop it." And I was like, "Huh? Okay." I was like, "Okay, never again. I won't ever again do that." And
that
from that day forth, I never did.
that's crazy. You know, I don't think when I was in college, folks were getting them warnings like crazy. Cause that's all we
Hmm.
was doing was LimeWire and torrents
Yeah.
and what have you. But that was like the late blog era into Spotify. And ever since like Spotify and Netflix and all that, it's like it's really not a need to be
Yeah.
torrenting. There's one person
Yeah.
I know that is still like on that stuff super heavy. And I'm just like, you wildin',
No,
fam.
no, I know a guy who has like a farm of just everything. Like he probably has like the Library of Congress in his on his hard drives, like for real. And you know, he does his thing with the VPNs and all that stuff, and he feels safe. I just know for me in my house, it ain't happening. It ain't happening.
Right. Listen, there was one of my homies. I don't even know how we got connected. We got connected like some old music industry stuff.
Mm.
And he like had set up a Plex server and basically was using it and like charging people subscription prices.
Oh
But that dude
wow.
had like everything. And then he
Mm,
got shut down, of course. But
mm.
hey, listen, there's enterprising individuals out here. I'm sure somebody can get you a copy of that avatar. So
Nah, I want to watch it when it's on the TV or in the movie theater like it's supposed to be watched. I'm of the age where now like I like to enjoy things how they were intended to be made, you know?
mhm.
I don't really mess with AI like that. Like I don't, especially for artistic things, you know. I might use it to put me together a diet for the week or something like that, but when it comes to art and music, I want to observe it how the artist wants me to receive it, and you know, if that requires me paying for it, I'll do that.
You know what broke my AI curiosity?
What?
Raising a teenager. Like,
Really?
bro, these kids, they are on it. they're on Chat GPT writing
Hmm.
papers. They're on Base 44 building apps and websites like, and it's just like I don't, all I know,
It's bad.
it's really bad cuz I'm like, what happens when you have to get a job? Like one of my homies, he built a website, or he built an app that will basically validate your business idea. So it's
Hmm.
like if you have an idea for a business, you put it in this website and it'll ask you a bunch of questions to kind of punch up your idea and tell you if it's viable or not. And I'm like, all right, cool. So let's say you do that, right? You get a bunch of people to pay for, because they pay for the report that this app
Hmm.
generates. I'm like, all right, cool. So you pay a bunch of people to generate this report, whatever, whatever. When it's time for you to like upgrade this business, right? You got to go buy some more computers to run this stuff and so on.
Hmm.
What do you say to the bank when you're asking for the business loan outside of AI told me to do this? Like how do you articulate like what it is that you have going on,
Right.
especially since most generative AI can't be copyrighted? Like
Hmm.
how and it's just like crickets. Like folks are just after the dollar. And I think because I was in the music industry first, the music industry got taken over by the tech industry and the tech bros since like 2012. Like once Spotify
Yeah.
hit the scene, there was a bunch of like artist services companies and DistroKid and all that stuff, right? And then in the middle of all that, Bitcoin and like blockchain technology
Mm.
happened. And then all of a sudden it was everybody was doing NFTs, and it was like, oh, you can mint NFTs for your music, and now it's
Bro,
actually
NFTs.
collectible and blah blah blah. And the amount of, I mean, I made money off of not even NFTs, but like there was a company that was basically like a link tree on steroids. And one of
Hmm.
the things that they did was allowed people to mint NFTs with their little platform. And
Hmm.
the way those venture capital funded companies were just throwing money at whatever influencer would bite,
Yeah.
right? Like 2020 was a good year for me in that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's my point is just like there's this gold rush, but like no one cares about the viability of the product. It's all about how big the user base can be. So OpenAI can be like, oh, we got 90,000 users a day. And that's how they raise the money. And then once they find out the product ain't really doing what they say it's gonna do, and everybody just leaves, all this money was made and they just move it to the next thing. And
Yeah.
all these people are left in this path of destruction. Like all these folks that are using AI to make comics, once the companies divest, how are you going to have comics?
Right. And my thing is that you still got to go out and do the work. Like AI can tell you all of this amazing stuff and give you all this data. Cool. But when it comes to like the creative space, you still have to go out there and market it. You still got to go talk to people about it. You still got to get it to comic book stores. You still got to, you still got to connect the product to the people. And if in my experience, if you're not willing to do the work on the front end, you're not going to be willing to do the second and third level work.
Right.
So it's like I had what I thought was $1 million idea when it was the NFTs, man. I was like, we should get CGC and CBCS or whoever, CBCS don't exist no more, but we should get CGC and have them, you know, verify, they grade these comics, and then you get an NFT, or you get what I would call a hero token. Like you have your own digital currency that goes with the value of that comic. So you rate it. It's they say this is what the value of it is, and you get that currency in the coin, whatever the coin is, and then you keep or you trade those things just like you would do in real life. So you got something physical. You got a physical comic book that's graded that actually has value in the real world between the two people, and that's how the market would work. But I was like, it would be great, but I didn't know the people to put it together. I didn't know nothing about uh that stuff.
So so you would trade the physical comic and it would come with the currency?
Yeah. Like that's
So
how you would.
what's the difference between that and like I give you my CGC giant size X-Men and you give me $1,000?
No, there's no difference. It's just that it's the only difference is that the value is in the marketplace. Like instead of me saying I'll give this to you for $1,000, you can see what the value is in the marketplace. So like when I bought it or when it's graded, the certifying official says this is what it's this is how much currency goes with this at this time,
Hmm,
and then that value can go up or down with the market as the market grows. So
got you.
you know,
Ironically, there is something like that out there now. I want to say it's Vive that does it, but
oh really?
what's the other one? Neon Ichiban has like these sort of digital collectible token type deals.
Hmm.
I don't know. That technology is weird to me. Like, and anytime it looks like an NFT, I'm just like, hey, bro, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I don't want it. I'm
Like,
all right.
it's bad enough that my Comixology comics ain't really comics and I can't download them. Yeah, I
I
don't.
can't download them and read them unless I'm connected to the internet. So, it is what it is.
Right. Anyway, I don't know how we got on that tangent, but you know what I'm saying? My man Ace Blade has a doppelganger. And first of all, I really like the design. Let me see if we can get him on screen here. So
Yeah,
this is the fake Ace Blade, the imposter, right over
right.
here. And he's got like this cyberpunk look going on. Like it's Ace Blade, but a little bit more armor. Like
Hmm.
it's dope. It's dope. I
He
like
looks a little. He looks a little more dangerous, and you notice, um, people will start to notice this as they read the comic books. But every time the real Ace Blade like adds something to his suit, he gets it from somebody else. Like he sees something that he likes, and he adds it to his suit. So the all the designs that you've seen of Ace Blade all have these arm blades, but he doesn't have them yet in this comic book. This is where he gets the idea for the arm blades from this fake Ace Blade. So going forward, after this, he'll have the arm blades in the suit.
word. That's dope. That's dope. But yeah, and who's the artist on this one?
The artist is Richard Kajan Brown. He's I met him on TikTok. He was always doing fan art and he was just drawing stuff and sending it to me. He was like, oh man, I love this character. Um, and I was like, man, I want to work with you on something. I had him do the preview for the Queen comic that I was working on. He did about 5 pages for that, and then I was gonna have him do something for Request, the Goat comic book that I was working on for them. I was gonna have him do, but it just wasn't the right feel. And I was like, I really want this guy to be working on Ace Blade, but I had William Withers at the time, and we talked about Will got sick and he had some issues in his family that he had to deal with. So that Ace Blade #9 was delayed, and I was like, hey, I think it's time. I think it's time for him to go ahead and Will was supposed to do issue 10, but like I said, he got sick and he couldn't do it. So I was like, I'm gonna bring Richard in, but Will is also doing a variant cover for issue 10 because it's all love, man. There wasn't any kind of bad feelings about it, but I just understood that he couldn't do this 10th book, and he knew. So it was like, all right, we're gonna go ahead and get Richard on it. I love his art style, and I think this is probably one of the best comic books written and story wise that I've done. So I'm really proud of it.
I really do like this sort of evolution of the art, right? Like I was looking through my Ace Blade trade, so the first 4 issues,
Mm.
and like the art now versus the art then, right? No disrespect to any of the artists, right? But it's like there's absolutely an evolution in style. And I think, part of that is just, you get what you can afford and so on, and you meet people at different stages of their journey. But I also have to assume that part of it is you getting better at communicating with the artist via script and all that. Like, what would you say contributes to the art being progressively better each time?
Yeah, I think it's exactly that. It's learning both from my end and from the artist end. I think those first two issues that Von Remote did, like we literally wanted to get Jimbo Saldago to do the first two issues. He was drawing Transformers at the time, and those first two issues, I was like, that's who I want to draw. That's who I want to draw this Aceblade comic book. We went and got Neil Adams. Neil Adams did a cover. Neil Adams did a variant cover for us. It was like, oh, we killing the game. But Jimbo was like, yeah, I charge $500 a page, and I was like, oh, I can't afford that. I can't afford that for pencils. What was I thinking? So
maybe we can do a 10-page comic.
Maybe we can do literally one page. No, but he had a cousin. He was like, my cousin is trying to get into comics. Maybe we should check him out. He's really skilled. So he sent me his work, and it was his first time doing a comic book, but he did a great job. He drew in the comic book style. He was very detailed. So we worked with him for the first two issues. But traditional comics, pencil and paper is different than digital. We were transitioning into digital, and it takes so much less time, I'll say. It took us a year and a half to do each of those first two comics. So a year and a half for issue 1, a year and a half for issue 2. Then I met Wally. McNair, and Wally has a much different style than Von did, but he's a lot faster. So Wally did issues 3 and 4. Then we signed with Short Fuse, and then they took over the art and all that stuff. So we got a new artist for 5, 6, and 7. But then when Short Fuse disbanded, we took it back over, and that's when I decided. I was like, man, I want to get a whole team of Black people to make these comic books, and that's why we got William Withers, myself, and the homie Mario. So that was what, 8 and 9, and now issue 10, it's me and Rich Brown. So
so we steered clear of the drama, but I'm curious as to your take on, let's say the last month. So for those who are out of the loop, who don't know what the drama is about. So New History of the DC Universe, the Dakota Incident, came out back in February. And actually,
I got my issues around here somewhere. I know I can pull it out if I need to.
I got one around here. Hold on. All right. So there was a big old campaign. There's a big campaign. We wanted to, sell this issue out. We wanted to sell 100,000 copies because Joe Illich said, if we sell 100,000 issues of this book, then we can go and basically demand a static book from DC. And if they was like, no, there's no reason that they can give to say that this book isn't a hit, right? And so we went. There was a big campaign online. Everybody was making videos. They sold it out to the point that they announced a second printing, right?
Second printing, Dan Mora.
With a Dan Mora cover, right?
Yeah.
And
wait, how do you have that? That's
today's Wednesday, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay, you're right.
So the what I didn't anticipate happening was the sort of groundswell. There were some fans, some indie creators, but basically the question was, why is Milestone getting all this attention? Where was all this support when insert any Black creator here was trying to push their comics? And I'm curious as to your perspective, because you are someone who is a Black creator, someone who employs Black creators. You're on this independent circuit. You're out there at conventions and all these things, and yet you're also a Milestone fan. How do you square all of those edges?
Man, I think that for me, I think the drama part of it was disappointing, but maybe necessary. Because I literally saw a post of mine from 2 years ago that said, I will not be explaining, but I'm sad that no one, not that I'm sad, but I said, I will not be explaining and nobody's coming to save us. And I realized a couple of years ago that there is no billionaire going to swoop in and say, hey, here's $1 million to make your comic book. Here is, all the support and love that you could ever need in technology and artists and access that you need to make these things. I just really believe that we have to do it ourselves, and we have to do the work to make these things um, connect to the people, you know? And I think for Static specifically, for Milestone and for Static, that work had been done. There's so much love in the community for Static and Icon and Rocket and, hardware, that it's like, why aren't these stories getting more, more pull? Uh why isn't there an ongoing Mr. Terrific after everybody loved the Superman movie? Why doesn't Mr. Terrific have an ongoing? We would buy these books. Black people love comics too. So there's a lot of disappointment in there. And then when on top of that you see some of the biggest creators not joining in with that, there's even more disappointment. So the way that I square that is that I get out here and I make my own stuff. I make my own comic books. I try to network with people like you and like, people, anybody who will put me on their platform to let me talk about the things that I create. And I really, just keep working at it and try to be consistent to someday build my own infrastructure and to have my own system that I can put these things out. People say that I look like Kev on Stage. Well, I want to be the Kev on Stage of comic books because he's out here making his own shows and stuff now. And, that's what I want to be able to do because I really don't believe that anybody's going to come to save us. I think that people are going to get amazing opportunities. People are going to work hard. Our cousin Stephanie is out here doing amazing things with, her own properties and with hopefully some licensed properties soon, which would be great. She did an amazing job with Street Sharks. And, I think those opportunities are amazing, but I know that she wants to create her own thing and to have her own narrative told and to control the things that she makes also. And I think that's really what we have to do. We just have to keep making it and, just keep going until it gets the attention it deserves.
Word. I spoke to David F. Walker recently on this same subject, and something that he said that caught me off guard but shouldn't have. But he was like, writing for Marvel and DC is basically sharecropping. Like, and his opinion was that
sounds like him.
It doesn't it? Like once it came out of his mouth, I was like, why would this surprise me? But I still had to pick my face up off the floor. But I do think like there's something too. Like his point was just like, look, for all these creators that are having a moment right now, they need to be putting some money aside so they can fund whatever their next thing is gonna be. Some of them have dreams of being like, TV and film writers. So maybe you put that money aside for like screenwriting classes or whatever the case is, right? But the other thing is like put some money aside to pay an artist, like to find a good working relationship. And now you have these original ideas. I mean, I don't know, because I literally have one comic idea in me, and it's been the same idea.
You got a couple now. I know you got the one. I've heard the one, but I feel like you can come up with some more.
I probably could, but there's really only one that I'm like, I got to make this thing. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I know there are other people, though, who are like, I would kill to write an issue of Batman. And it's like, for some people, the idea isn't necessarily to have a thing of their own. And I think for all of the talk of, sharecropping or mainstream versus indie and so on, for me, I'm just like, I just want opportunities for people, right? Like, I want a world where my homies that are out here grinding on the convention circuit can have an easier path to marketability, right? Like, where is the platform that's going to kind of level the playing field? In some ways, I feel like Global Comics could be something like that, but but where is the thing that's going to shine a light on the indie comics? Or is it just that, it's not meant for indie comics to be as big as insert thing here? Like, and the joy is just in making a thing. I don't know. But I feel like when we have these mainstream versus indie conversations, what gets left in it is the people. Like, if we burning down, Marvel and DC or whatever, and it's like, well, Stephanie's writing Wonder Woman, and I want to see this Vixen thing that she's got this idea for, right?
Yeah.
My man Morgan is writing the entire Green Lantern Corps. And
Right.
by the way, doing real justice to John Stewart. Like, all the stuff I was complaining about 10
Morgan is
issues ago,
solid too.
he's solving it, right?
Yeah.
But so it's like, I want to be able to root for my friends that are like doing these dope things and not feel like somehow that is slighting my friends that are also doing dope things, but in different ways.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to write. Man, I've wanted to write Deadpool my entire comic book life. I have a lantern story that expands the Indigo Lanterns. I got ideas for the mainstream comics, but until I get those opportunities, I'm gonna be working on Aceblade and King Supreme and Lumberjacks and the Kadara Chronicles. Like I got so many ideas that I can be making now, that I don't have to put all of my eggs in the basket that hopes, somebody from Marvel or DC will come pick it up. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I'm fulfilled with this. Like I'm content with writing Ace Blade and selling Ace Blade and making a little indie film of Ace Blade if I have to, or when I get the chance to. So I'm fulfilled with that. But when I get the other opportunities, I'm gonna jump at those too.
Word, word. So you're 10 issues into Ace Blade. You're fulfilled by doing it. But I feel like there's gotta be some part that's like tired of the crowdfunding grind. It seems exhausting from the outside, right? Like, how do you keep it fresh? How do you manage the stress of these campaigns? Like how is it going for you?
Me and Morgan Iverson talk about it a lot. If we didn't have to use social media to get this content out to people, to tell people about our work, we would disappear. We would literally not do it. I happen to enjoy the creative part of social media. I enjoy making videos and putting stuff out and reading comic books and talking about them with other people. I enjoy that part of it, but I don't enjoy the the grind of it. I don't enjoy forcing myself to make things because I know the algorithm is going to leave me behind, or not taking, a month off, because literally a month without posting about Ace Blade could lose the entire audience that I have. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of that I don't enjoy about it. And then Kickstarter or crowdfunding itself is a whole nother thing. It's, you know, preparation, making sure people get signed up, the education of this is not going to come out of your bank account, especially when it's a black comic and black people. You have to tell them about comics, and then you got to tell them about crowdfunding and the platform that you're using. And, it might be their first time backing. So every time you got to educate your audience on how it goes. And it's just so it can be tiring, but it's very rewarding when it works. I got a few people, literally, Sebastian Jones called me on the phone at the towards the end of his Kickstarter. He had already hit $100,000, and just the passion in his voice to say, "Man, I saw the drama that you went through. Man, just keep going, man. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right." He took a moment out of his time during his Kickstarter to call me and say, "Man, you're doing good work. Don't let him get to you. It's gonna be all right." And this dude is connected to Viola Davis and movie studios and all kinds of stuff. So, those things keep me going. And then, of course, people like Ben, reaching out and being excited about creating. Like, he wants to make a villain in our universe, and he pledged to the level to be able to do that. Like, to be able to put down, $250, $500 to say, I want to be a part of the universe. And those things are always exciting. So the creative part keeps me going, and it makes the hard work and the monotony of the daily parts of it worth it.
I could certainly relate to that, bro. Like the grind is not fun. And I think like part of the job of those of us who are on socials is to make it look fun. Like, on my side of things, there might be publishers that are reaching out like, hey, we want to send you this book. Can you talk about it or whatever, right? So I can't get on camera like, hey, man, I don't want to name anything because I don't know if it's like a real thing, right? But here's this book, bro. Go buy it, right? And it's like, and genuinely, I'm excited about the comics, but I'm not always excited like every day just about life. You know what I'm saying? I'm raising kids. I got a day job. Sometimes things get volatile. It gets, and
the United States is the United States right now,
bro.
Gas is $30. Like,
yo, I filled up the van today. You don't even want to know how much that total was. I'm driving a minivan in this economy, like, and folks want me to be smiling about some comics, but no.
My wife is driving you see my wife's car. She got the 370Z. It's a 93, bro. Like putting premium gas in a 17-gallon car, bro.
It's crazy. You know what?
Yeah.
I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but my next car, I think it's gonna be the Rivian. I've been wanting an EV for a minute.
I like the Rivian too. I like the look of it. I like the style of it. I like that. I like the Rivian.
Yeah, it's the small thing. I can't do the big body. That joint's like 80.
I want the
80
truck.
racks.
I want the truck.
Oh yeah,
I want the big one.
I don't need the pickup, but they got a small SUV. It's like competing with the RAV4. It's gonna be like $50,000 for the model I want, right? And I'm like, I could do that, but it comes standard with these yellow calipers on the brakes, and I want mine to be purple.
Okay, all right.
And when I had the idea, I was like, that's something Danny would do, but
I sure would.
I want my license plate to be Bombay, and I probably shouldn't have said that out loud because now somebody gonna do it, and I'm gonna go to the DMV and be mad.
It's a wrap.
But anyway, but all that to say, it's gonna be a Rivian because I'm not paying for gas. Like, not no more. Can't do it.
Yeah, we gotta find a way around that for sure.
Right. But yeah. So all that to say, like February was really busy for me. Like for me, I'm Black. I've been Black my whole life, right? But like it feels like folks only want folks to be Black, like in February. And so every year I have this thing where it's like, okay, I have these ideas for content that I want to put out, but the month is just not long enough. My wife's birthday's in February. My mother-in-law's birthday's in February. My daughter's birthday's in February. And my birthday's the last week of January. And so it's like, if I'm not planning stuff to a T, that stuff ain't gonna get done. But this February, I did it. I did the Dakota Incident video. I did my Dwayne McDuffie video. I made an
amazing job on that Dakota Incident video too.
Thank you, man. Thank you. But I made a bunch of stuff that I was super proud of, but I was burnt out by the time March 1st came. And I was like, you know what? This is a great time to just be like, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna let y'all have St. Patrick's Day and all the things that y'all want to have. I will be back. But what kept me online was interviewing people. I think I had an interview twice a week, every week in March. And that's the thing that I love is meeting people in the community, talking about creativity, talking about craft. I was talking to David Walker and he was like, yo, you might write my biography one day because these are great questions. And I'm like, yo, this is the stuff that I love. Yeah. And nobody checking for this, but it's like doing all the stuff that like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love doing the pull list. I love doing all the unboxings and stuff too. But like y'all didn't see me pushing boxes over to the side so that I could have a clean shot right now. Like there's a lot of grunt work that comes with this stuff that we do all the time. But what gets me through that is knowing that if I do this well, there will be more eyes the next time I want to interview David Walker or Christopher Priest or Danny
Yeah.
Quick, right? And I am helping my friends make the stuff they love to make. And so I'm cool with it. I'm happy with it.
And you're a historian, first of all. So I know you love the process of making the things and the history that came before it that affects the future of it. But at the same time, you're a marketer. And every industry, especially comics right now, needs marketing. Like every industry in the world that wants to sell something needs people to tell people about it so that they can find them. You know what I'm saying? And it's important. And I don't think comic books has, especially indie comics, black comics, and that's another reason why I think what happened with the Dakota incident is important, because out of that came more people creating content about the comic books we make. There's, Jay Penumbra's out here now, my man Zella on YouTube. Like, there's people who are consistently making these videos now.
Comics Explained.
Comics Explained,
Sorry.
Blurred Without Fear. There's a lot of them. I even started making some YouTube videos. So it's dope. It's Comics are dope, and the community around it is dope too. Put that on a t-shirt.
Man, Danny be coming up with t-shirts all the time. Like, I can come up with a t-shirt, but it's not like y'all gonna buy it. I can count on 3 hands. Nah, not even 3. That's not even a point. So
I got a couple of them. The ones that you made in purple, I have.
That's true. Y'all know how purple stuff ends up in my shop? It's because Danny will legit message me like, "Hey, bro, does this one come in purple?" I'm like, "All right, I'll do it just for you." And it's literally, well, actually, there was one other person that bought that Dakota 4 t-shirt in purple, and there was one person that bought the Disapproved shirt in purple.
The Disapproved by Comics, yeah.
When I was doing the sale. So yeah, shout out to you for that. But yeah, like, and again, like, I don't do it for the money that comes in. Like, I'm lucky to break even in a given month. It really is just about trying to leave a legacy, not even leave a legacy for myself, but really highlight the legacy that's already here of amazing comic book creators, especially those of color, and the work that they've done, the strides that they've made. Like, I was thinking about this earlier today because I'm working on a video about being a black comic book fan and how exhausting it can be sometimes. Christopher Priest was the first black man in editorial at Marvel and at DC. Not Marvel or DC. He was the first black editor at Marvel and then was the first black editor at DC.
That's crazy.
And he's like 8 months older than my mother.
That's a crazy stat, bro. How long has DC been around, bro? Like
90 years. Allegedly, I haven't verified this, but I saw a post about this earlier today. Aletha Martinez was the first black woman penciler at Marvel.
Recently?
Aletha Martinez was the first black woman penciler at Marvel, according to this video I just saw. I Googled it. I didn't see a fact on a Wikipedia page, but that's crazy if that's true.
That is absolutely crazy.
Stephanie Williams is the first black woman to write Wonder Woman, the main line Wonder Woman title. And Steph might have me beat by like 8 months on age. Right?
Bruh. Yeah.
Like, so there are these strides that we are making. There are things that we are doing that have never been done that you would think have been done already. And I think the reason it doesn't come across as remarkable is because we assume that it's been done. Because it's like, how not? Mm-hmm. And so it's like, if this platform is going to do anything, it's going to shed light on all these contributions that all these people are making so that we don't have to bicker with one another about whose contribution is more important. Like, you got folks like, I'm the biggest indie creator ever. And it's like, no, you're not. You're not.
You ain't outsold Tribe. You ain't the biggest.
Didn't outsell Tribe, right? Truth be told, ain't nobody outsold Milestone yet.
Right.
Milestone published over 300 issues, and their lowest selling books were in like the low 60s, 60,000 an issue.
What would that be? Zombie?
It wasn't Zombie. I want to say it was Heroes. But Static was among the lowest as well. Ironically. And then by the time the show came out, the comics hadn't been published anymore. But 4 issues every month in comic shops, like for 4 years. No one has matched that output.
Right.
Like, and it's like, that's cool that we were able to achieve that then. And I'm hoping that, by us shedding a light on some of the stuff that's out there now, there's another company that does it, Ayanu is doing amazing things on Cartoon Network right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Roye Okupe, a friend of the channel, is out here pioneering. He's doing straight up graphic novels. He's not doing the single issues. He's not playing with y'all. He's going straight for the book market dollars, straight for Cartoon Network, straight into people's living rooms. Like,
I love it.
I love it, right? Stranger Comics is phenomenal. First of all, nobody's beating the quality of Stranger Comics is putting out there. Not from a visual standpoint, not from the construction of the books, the extras, the variants. And have you been at some of these conventions where Stranger Comics have a presence?
I saw him at the Baltimore show, Baltimore Comic-Con one year, and I was like, this bigger. Like, his booth presence is bigger than
it's like
DC and Marvel. Booths. Yeah, it's ridiculous. They've got the cosplayers out there doing the symbols and taking the pictures and all kinds of stuff. And Sebastian is just a showman. Like, he's the perfect dude to be in front of it to talk about the stuff, man. It's amazing. It's
both Ringling brothers and Barnum and Bailey. But it's like, it's so inspiring. And it's like, these other platforms aren't covering it. That doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know how we got on this tangent, but
we just be talking, bro. We just be
talking. Because honestly, we would have these conversations whether the camera was on or not. But
yeah,
it's just, I don't know. I said all that to say I was making a video about how exhausting it is to be a Black comic fan sometimes. Because with all of these amazing things happening, you know what happened to me last week? I made a video about just some books that I got some books I pre-ordered. And I made a passing comment about how Miles Morales should be like the Spider-Man, right? And nobody asked me for my argument as to why. But somebody legit commented with a racial slur and was like, of course you think Miles should be Spider-Man. And I was just like, hey, bro, like, you don't know me. Like, you don't know my background.
But he should be. but he should be.
He absolutely should be.
I made a post the other day, and I was like, is Spider-Man, just Spider-Man, not just Miles Morales, but is Spider-Man more popular than Superman right now? And most of the people said Spider-Man right now, especially Miles Morales, is more popular than Superman, like especially Miles Morales. And I'm like, for the past 5 years, maybe, Miles Morales has been the Spider-Man. Like, Miles Morales is Spider-Man, bro.
Bro, I was in Target last week and I saw a white kid in a Miles Morales hoodie. Like, you know, the ones with the face mask over it. So like all I see is like, you know, the Batman cowl, little white kid.
Yeah.
Miles Morales, bro. They don't care about Peter Parker. And it's not because Peter Parker isn't great. It's because Marvel hasn't been marketing him well, hasn't been using him well. Oh, that's dope.
Got my little keychain too.
That's dope. My Art of Torrin Clark book just got shipped. It's not arrived yet. But I'm very excited for the Miles Morales print that's gonna come with it. I'm gonna finally, because Peter Parker is the only white man on my wall over there. And it's because Ken Lashley drew him. But yeah, I've been wanting to replace it with a Miles Morales print forever, but I was like, it has to be a Black artist. And here we go. Torrin Clark got a print. So
there you go. There you go.
But
didn't Torrin do that Rocket cover?
Which one?
Ain't that who did the Rocket cover that got cropped? Who did that?
Wait. No. That was Sway. Sway did the Rocket
cover.
Oh,
that was Sway. That was Sway. My bad. Cropped. Yeah.
Torrin was doing the Icon and Rocket covers for the Reggie Hudlin series. So there's that one where it was like Static was hitting on Rocket. He drew that.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I think he did all the A covers for that series. But he had an epic cover run on Black Panther, an epic cover run on Miles Morales. Right now he's doing covers for Titans, or New Titans at DC. And he just got off a run on Green Arrow. That dude, and he did a dope variant for one of the Superman titles, or maybe all of them, but he did like a connecting cover with all the Superboys on it. That dude is getting better. When I found out he was doing all that stuff with like one eye, basically, I was like, it's not fair. You're not playing fair.
Like, how you got all this?
Like,
that's not nice, BJ.
No, I'm not saying he has both of his eyes, but he had like some kind of laser surgery or something. Him and Nick, they both had like some sort of condition where like their corneas were scratched.
Nick and like Dragotta?
Nick Draper Ivy.
Draper Ivy. Okay, I was about to say. Okay,
yeah, because we talking about black people. But anyway, but nah.
Oh, Nick Dragotta's not black. I didn't know that.
See? Oh yeah, nah.
I don't. Sometimes I don't see color.
He's the homie though. Most of the time we don't see color in comics. Like it's crazy that anyway. For like a medium where most of the time we don't know what people look like, it is crazy how much racism I encounter in comics.
Bro, listen, I'm on TikTok. TikTok isn't as bad as YouTube. I'll be honest. Any viral video that I get on YouTube is gonna come with some stuff. TikTok is a little more younger, a little younger audience, and the younger audience, they don't care as much, but they on there though. They definitely are on there. But I need a favor from you, bro.
Okay.
I need a favor. I'm gonna ask on the podcast, even though you could probably edit this out if you need to. I need you to use your connections to get me in touch with Jamal Campbell.
I don't have a connection to Jamal Campbell.
I know you don't, but you will have a connection to Jamal Campbell before I will. And when you make that connection, I need you to have me in your brain, because that is the one person there's Brian Stelfreeze that I would love, that I want to draw Aceblade. I've talked to him for the past 4 years and he doesn't have time for me. He just doesn't. And I understand. Mm-hmm. But him and Price 14, I need Jamal Campbell to do Aceblade and my life will be complete. Those are the only two. I've got Daryl Banks to do it. My man Larry Stroman did Aceblade. You know, I've had some legends.
Yeah.
But those two.
Jamal Campbell will be a good get. I mean, quiet is kept. Yeah. Torrin Clark and Jamal Campbell is right there.
It's right there. It's right there for sure.
So if you can't get Jamal Campbell, like, just call Torrin.
True. That's factual. That's facts.
But yeah, I don't have any connection to him. And I love
nobody does. Nobody does, bro. Nobody has the connection to get Jamal Campbell, bro. I don't know if he actually exists. I haven't seen a photo of this dude. Nothing. I just know he's black.
I don't
know how I know he's black.
Like. I think I've seen him at some point. There's been a picture of him somewhere. I feel like.
I know he's black. What book did he do that I was like, oh, I know he's black?
He did Far Sector.
He did Far Sector. Yeah, he did Far Sector, and he did Naomi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he had both of them wearing head wraps at night. I was like, yes, this is a brother. Absolutely. Like, bro, there's so many talented.
And his name is Jamal. Anyway, my bad.
That too. Bro, I've been watching reruns on Tubi. Tubi has Seabear and Jamal. I have not seen that show since I was like 6.
Seabear and Jamal, bro. That's classic.
Bro, with Tone Loc as the bear. And I'm watching this show and I'm like, bro, my childhood was so black. And then I'm looking at the credits and you know who did Seabear and Jamal?
Who?
Bruce Smith, who also worked on Moesha and the Parkers.
Oh, wow.
And also gave us the Proud Family and
Oh
also
man,
Bebe's kids. Like, it is crazy. And there's our connection to Reggie Hudlin to round it all out. Who, by the
Reggie
way,
Hudlin. That's what I was expecting you to say was Reggie Hudlin because
uh,
he's
nah, but Reggie's got a lot of great things going on. He's got a superhero project in development right now. He's making a Phantom TV series, a live action series.
Oh, it's gonna be a TV series.
I want to say it's a series. It's not a film.
Okay.
So, do you know anything about the Phantom? He looks kind of like Aceblade, but he's white.
I don't. I know what the Phantom looks like, and I think I got some old Phantom comics, but I've never read them. I've never read any Phantom stories. But if Reggie Hudlin's doing it, I'm gonna be watching it.
I just feel like if Reggie Hudlin's doing a superhero, it should be static. But
I agree. But
yeah, we can dream. We could dream. But anyway, at this point, I've probably offended like at least 8 people on this show, and that's what happens when you get me talking to my real friends on my real podcast that I don't get.
You're just gonna edit it all out anyway, so it'll be okay.
You know that's not gonna happen. You know I don't edit this show at all. Like I put all this money into this software so that it looks good, so I don't have to edit it. You know? And hey, anyway, y'all, you know what? I've been up. I got up really early to make that food, and maybe that's why I'm out of sorts right now. But it's all good.
I wish I could. Like, I literally could just drive to your house right now. I can get there in 45 minutes. I don't know exactly where you live, but I can find it.
45 minutes, I might be out, dog.
Like, just leave me a plate out in the. Just leave me a plate out. I'll grab it and
bro,
go home.
It's an 8-pound pork shoulder. Like, it'll be some leftovers. I have to make it. We're going out of town this weekend, and we had some friends over last weekend, and I took the pork shoulder out to defrost for the friends, and then found out they don't eat pork. So then I was like, I'm not about to sit here for 10 hours making this pork, and y'all don't eat pork. So. But it was like, dang, I already defrosted it, so now I have to cook it. So
gotta cook it.
That's where we at. So it's gonna be great tacos on the road to the mountains. We about to be in a cabin for a little bit. It's gonna be nice. I just went and bought. I'm trying to find the little pickled onions.
Hey, I will be in Durham tomorrow, so I know that's closer to your area. So
hey, listen, we'll get. You know what? I'm gonna be at Heroes. You're gonna be at Heroes. I could probably make something and bring it in. We could do that.
All right, bet.
All right. So yeah, listen, this has been an amazing episode of Comics Are Dope, perhaps the most unhinged yet. But I want to remind y'all that Aceblade issue 10 is about to be live on Kickstarter. Do we have a date? When is this going live?
It was supposed to be the 28th, but again, I wanted to make it as good as it can be. I want to make sure everything is done before we launch, so it'll be closer to Free Comic Book Day.
Okay. If that's the case, this very well might be issue 100 of the podcast. I think I'm at like 97 on the roadmap, and if I got to time this for that might be where you end up. I might make it 99 just because I didn't announce it at the beginning of the show. So either way. Well, look, y'all know the deal. Go to comicsaredope.com/Aceblade, and that will take you to the campaign page, whether it is live now or still in pre-launch. There are 103 people waiting for this to launch. And Danny's got this little tradition where the first backer gets something ridiculous. Have you thought through what that backer is going to get at this point?
I don't know. I got something. I got a couple of things, but you can see these. We've been doing these 3D printed Aceblade logos.
Okay.
There's a guy in Charlotte who's been working on some stuff for us. So we got something planned. We got a couple of things planned.
Where I'm still trying to time my funding right so I can get an Aceblade action figure. I don't know when those are coming back, but between that and that Bequest hardcover proof that somebody gonna have to come off of, like,
you're not getting one of them. I can promise you that.
That's crazy. Listen, man,
you got to catch somebody slipping to get one of those.
Hey, I just might. Somebody gonna walk away from the table at some point. So,
but yeah, we should have 4 action figures for the campaign, and I was thinking about bringing the shoes back, but I doubt it.
Yeah,
tariffs.
Yeah. 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 Well, look, there's going to be plenty of stuff on the campaign trail on Kickstarter. comicsaredope.com/aceblade will take you right to it. Go ahead and follow the page on pre-launch if you want to be one of the lucky ones that get something really cool. Yo, I have a piece of artwork. It's Hulk and Aceblade. I think we were supposed to give it away, and somehow it's just sitting in my office right now.
You still got that?
I do.
Wait, what?
You don't have it because I have it.
No, I don't. You know, when I moved back over to the studio, I was putting all my art up, and I was like, "Where's my thing on Ace Blade versus the Hulk?" And that's right, you have it.
I do. I think it might be in this bag right here. Nah, it's somewhere else, but I have it. Anyway, that's the type of cool stuff you get back in Aceblade on Kickstarter. So go ahead and do that. And until next time, I have been BJ Kicks. This is my man, my brother, Danny J. Quick. Go back Aceblade, then stay safe, stay awesome, stay vigilant, and read something dope today. Peace.